Bila shaka sisi pia ni watu, hali ya utumwa tumeikataa, hali ya utumwa tumeikataa. Tutanyakua mashamba yetu, tupiganie uhuru wetu.
Mafaita! Nasiaya! Mafaita! Migori! Mafaita! Kilifi! Mafaita! Mombasa! Mafaita! Kajiado! Mafaita! Nairobi! Mafaita! Tundukeni!
Privilege to work with you at the social justice centers. We are very happy with the work that you're doing. We recognize that you have a special role to improve the livelihoods or the lives of the citizens of this country. The primary objective of this project is to ensure that the social justice centers, through the working group, we create an environment where you can be effective in what you are doing. We want to see what you are doing on the ground. We want to feel what you are doing on the ground. We want Kenyans to appreciate what you are doing. This is why we are here. Just to remind you, the role that you have. Number one, we are supposed to be supporting development. And I will tell you why, where did I get this? As social justice centers, we are supposed to be supporting development. So if Kenya is not developing, then we should take some of the blame why Kenya is not developing. Some of the projects you do as social justice centers are geared towards supporting development in the area in which you operate in a small way, so that you complement what the county and the national government is doing. So you must know that one of your important role where you operate is supporting development. Tumezungumza hapa, agriculture inakufa. You have a role to ensure, if you come from an agricultural area, that agriculture is thriving. If you come from a fishing area, kama yule ndugu yangu wa Lamu, you ensure that fishing is thriving. If you come from an industrial area, Nairobi, Mombasa, you ensure the industries are thriving. So that's part of your role. So haitoshi tu kuzungumza, we are not doing well, but we must interrogate what is it that we have done to ensure that we support development. That is one of our primary role. Number two, we are supposed to create social cohesion and tolerance within society. Social cohesion and tolerance within society. And I commend you from the report we have. You have done this very well as social justice centers. I know there are a number of interventions that social justice centers across the country have undertaken to ensure there is cohesion and there is tolerance amongst ethnic groups. Juzi hapa nimesikia this county na county nyingine kwa na clashes hapa. Is it Migori? So nimesikia some of you actually intervened, and thank you for what you have done, and in many other areas. Number three, promoting democracy. It is your role to promote democracy. You promote democracy. Right now, there is a discourse in the country about the constituting IEBC, isn't it? That's a very important institution in promoting democracy. So what is your role as social justice centers? What have you done? You've just left it to the two antagonistic political foes, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. So where are we? Where are we as human rights defenders, as social justice, social officers? What are we doing in the IEBC saga? Because personally, I believe the two may not be able to solve this issue without our intervention. So, Olala and group, think about this. What is your intervention? Promoting democracy. Political parties act. Olala has been saying it's time you think of having your own political party. And the reason he has given is that there is no democracy within the existing political parties, and we have a political parties act. So what are we doing to ensure that the political parties act is effective as social justice centers? So that is another challenge that we are facing in promotion of democracy. We've been complaining about taxation, we've been complaining about laws, quite a number of statutes. Olala has pointed out about the Community Registration Act. He has pointed out about other acts that are bills that are pending in the National Assembly. So the National Assembly is one institution that actually we need to focus on. So what are we doing? Have we thought of the recall clause? Have we thought of the recall clause? The Elections Act provides for recall of members of Parliament who are not effectively representing you. Sasa tumejaribu kuatisha kidogo kwamba tutawavuta, and I have seen the chapters across the country. So if National Assembly that we trust is there to think about the plight of the citizens, is not doing what we expect it to do, we have a role to challenge National Assembly. And one is the recall clause. What will they feel wakisikia the Western Chapter, karibu 3 or 4 or 5 members of parliament kumeanzishwa recall clause? Coast, Nairobi, yeah, wakiona about half of the members of parliament are facing challenges from the cities through your effort, I think maybe the National Assembly will. Si tunasikia members of parliament wananunuliwa na serikali, they are doing the bidding of the government, isn't it? So what are we doing as social justice centers? So this is a challenge collectively we need to take and ensure that we challenge the National Assembly or the Senate. So promotion of democracy is one of our primary duties. Number 4, respect for the rule of law. This is where we are talking about a number of violations. Violations of the Constitution, violations of human rights, violations of the law. So it is our duty to ensure that duty bearers, the government, duty bearers, respect the rule of law. Corruption in this country. Have we tried any whistleblowing in corruption? Have we confronted this evil of corruption as social justice centers? So this is a challenge. Providing accountability mechanisms that can contribute to improved governance. It is our role also to provide mechanisms. We talk to the county government, we talk to the national government, and provide mechanisms. And you cannot provide mechanisms if you don't engage them. And you cannot engage with government by requesting. You have to put the government into task. So this is a role that we need to play. All these point out to the fact that our movement is supposed to complement county and national government in all spheres of public service delivery. Public service delivery. Maisha yamekuwa magumu kwa sababu public service delivery. Tumezungumza about kuhusu maji, isn't it? It is their duty, it is their role. So wameshindwa on this particular role. So what have we done? So to them, the solution is to privatize water. So what solution have we come up with? So we need to think out of the box. We need to engage them and tell them, no, what you're providing as a solution is not okay, is not proper. This is the proper solution. And you can't do that without sitting together the way we have sat, come up with a strategic plan. And I'm happy Bilal has mentioned about a strategic plan on how do we play our role effectively. Because this project is supposed to assist each one of you to ensure that you play your role effectively. And you play it in coordination or in cooperation as social justice centers. This is why you have the working group. It is supposed to coordinate these national efforts to ensure that you are effective in what you're doing. Kenya will not prosper without the intervention of 3 sectors. There are 3 sectors. For us to prosper, we need the intervention of the public sector. The public sector is the government, both the national and the county government. The private sector, the business entities, the industries, we need them. And thirdly, it is the public benefit organization organizations like yours, ourselves. So there are 3 recognized major sectors, and we are one of them: the public, the private, and the social justice movement. So we have an important role to play to ensure Kenya prospers. In doing our work, we need to look at Article 10 of the Constitution. When we interact with the government, we should be guided by the national values and principles. And if we ensure that all of us, all the 3 sectors, respect and implement Article 10, then I believe we can make meaningful progress. Lastly, I just want to remind you, we come from different counties. If you look at the County Government Act, there is a role in the County Government Act for us, civic education. You know, devolution is only 14 years old or 12 years old. So many people don't understand the devolution. So we have a role within the County Government Act to educate, to inform, to make the people aware of a number of things, including devolution. So we have a civic education in the County Government Act. And the county government does not have the capacity to carry out civic education. So it is through you, supposed to carry out civic education through you, so that you educate the residents of the counties on a number of things, governance, including devolution. You've spoken about Olalas, reminding you about the challenges we're facing in the health sector. The health sector is completely devolved to the counties. But if you look at the budget, it's only about 15% of the budget that goes to the county, and the rest remains in the national government. So it is what devolution envisaged. So we have a role that we play. We will not improve the health sector if we don't comply with the Constitution in the manner it is written. So lastly, this is my first and only, unlike my good friend Convening. Lastly, it is our role as Haki Africa in Haki Mtaani project. This is the working group's project with the Netherlands Embassy. It is your project. But there was a memorandum of understanding. Haki Africa is supposed to first manage your funds. And number 2, we are supposed to remind you the way I've done what you're supposed to do. We have a memorandum of understanding between yourself, you, because it is the first time that you come up with a structure and a strategy of working together. There could be challenges. So our work as Haki Africa is just to remind you, you were supposed to do A, B, C, D. Like for instance, the working group, you must have a mechanism on how you coordinate what I have reminded you, a working group. So that one is supposed to be put into writing, so everyone can see. And I think you already have that. You need to have some documents like a constitution. So Haki Africa is just to remind you, you just need a constitution. We're not supposed to give you a constitution. I hope that is understood. It is not us to come up with a constitution to give you. We just want to remind you, according to our memorandum of understanding, you need a strategic plan. So we remind you, by this date you're supposed to have a strategic plan. By this date you're supposed to have a constitution. By this date you need A, B, C, D. And we work together. We sit down, we agree on how to achieve this. I believe if we play our roles the way I have articulated to you, and then we will help this country make progress very fast. The problem is that we have left so much to the politicians, and the politicians are not effective in bringing development. Walala amezungumza about your political party. That is your, but I just want to remind you, one of my teacher, a teacher I respect very much, is Kivutha Kibwana. He taught me constitutional law. Kivutha Kibwana was in the forefront in liberating this country in the past. His history is known. But when he ventured into politics and he owned a political party, the rest you know, Olala. So take Kivutha Kibwana's history as a human rights defender, and then as a politician, look at the achievements and the challenges he faced. Then when you come up with a political party, you don't make the mistakes that Kivutha Kibwana did. Look at Kiraitu Murungi, the rest. Kiraitu Murungi, if you look at his history, before he became a politician, and then when he became a politician, these people have, and there are many others I don't want to mention. So, as Haki Africa will be reminding you when you come up with a political party, that first you are changing. I have told you there are three sectors, isn't it? There is the public, there is the private, and there is ourselves, the social justice sector. So when you venture into politics, you will change goals. You become a politician. So you think of this interconnection, there is nothing wrong to have a political direction, but there are strategies. If we sit down, we can agree how other people done it. In the U.S., let's start with Netherlands, the embassy in Netherlands. The money we get for these, they come from the citizens in the Netherlands. But there's a strong lobby. There's a strong lobby in Netherlands of human rights defenders or social justice movements that take the government to task. They are not part of the politicians, but they can control the politicians. That is how it's done in the US. It is how it is done in the UK. It is how it is done in Norway, Sweden, name it. So we also need to think of coming up a very strong lobby that the politicians will respect and uphold. That is what we are missing in Kenya. But this is a conversation for another day. But I'm greatly encouraged by the work you are doing. You have done quite a lot. I have talked to a number of people. Apart from the judiciary, the next people they trust most is the civil society movement. So you're very relevant, and people look towards you for their salvation. Please don't let them down. Thank you very much. God bless you. We are together in this journey to prosperity.
Hayo makofi hayatoshi. Kwa nini hakutuanzia? It's time for tea break, but just before tea break, nitamuita Java Noala aweze kupatia hashtag. Tafadhali kila mtu make sure we post something, sio? On our social media, CAG, Haki Africa, the Netherlands Embassy, our centers and our chapters.
For the sake of our national convening and for the sake of the Social Justice Day that will be commemorated tomorrow, I would like that we storm the social media with the following hashtags. #1, social justice now. #2, national convening. Please make it simple, make it plain, but revolutionary and progressive, something that engages the nation. Thank you. Social justice now and national convening.
So we are heading to break for 30 minutes. We'll be back here at 11:30. So, something.
The earth is not going lower than it is, neither is it rising up. So these are common conversations. For comrades who have been in this space, and I think what we need to appreciate that this space is able to accommodate divergent conversations from people from the same chapter. And it is not strange. I have been in this space when in one national assembly, the contentious issue was the issue of nationalization, and we overcame it. I have been in this space when the contentious issue was the issue of Western chapter. We overcame it. I have been in this space when the contentious issue was the issue of Nairobi chapter, and we overcame it. Now I am also in this space when the contentious issue is the issue of Coast chapter. We shall overcome it. So, let us not therefore raise our adrenaline as if the world is ending today. We still have more time. It's important that we hear general reflections of what is going on in the counties. Digest it, then we give platform on how to move forward. But let's not begin having answers when we have not even heard what is going on in the entire movement. And reactions are coming.
No, I'm saying, and people reacting with emotion.
With emotion.
Is not needed.
Exactly. So I'm really touched by what Karuga Lillian has said. And Lillian, what I want to attest to you that this space is for character development, your mentor. We were developed here national, we were developed here Western, here Nairobi. So it's a passage of right. Seemingly. So let's laugh about it, but also see how we navigate it for the bigger good. The important thing, if you listen to the different views, is that our primary goal of community organizing is going on well, yeah? But we also must be alive to our institutional goal of how do we position ourselves to be able to deliver without empowering communities and destroying ourselves. So up to that end, please, we are coming to the next stage where si hatuja react za Nairobi, hatuja react ya nini. So mbona tuko na haraka na ya is it the juice? Is it the juicy part of this convening? So allow me to invite Western chapter and Halima Nyota. I would request you that as you're doing your rapporteury, let's be very strategic with the rapporteury, so that when we will come to this floor again, we are able to say that this is the convergence point of what is happening at coast. But this is the point of departure, so that we see how do we address these points of departure and strengthen the convergence point. The same way to Nairobi, what is working well and where are the areas of improvement and Western. So that by the time we are leaving this place, tusitoke ni kama watu wametoka bunge ya Jacaranda. We are very strategic about what we want to achieve, and we can say that we came to this place at this point and we have left with this resolution.
Viva, comrade, viva.
Viva!
More power to the host, more power.
More power!
More power to coast, more power.
More power!
More power to Nairobi, more power.
More power!
Before I start, Kama would just sign for me a broadcast from Western Nairobi, Kajiado. Ukimiss per diem, naona abane kutosha. So in case somebody has not signed, please just check out and then clear on the card so that we receive the money as added. So this is the report for Western chapter. And just to let you know that Western chapter is the largest in terms of geographical coverage, but also in terms of number of centers. The chapter is covering a total of 10 counties. 10 counties. And just to let you know that we are covering Kisumu, we have centers in Kisumu, Kericho, Siaya, Migori, Homa Bay, Busia, Bungoma, Kakamega, Vihiga, and Trans Nzoia. And it is one chapter. We are having a total of 44 centers minus committees. Out of the 44, only 21 are implementing Hakim Tani project. So we also have the politics of who gets what and when and by how and who decides. But hatuwezi leta hapa hivi juu. Tutamaliza hii meeting next year. Part of the progress that we have achieved for the last for the last 1 year, we understand that as a chapter, our primary mandate is on community organizing, which has been very visible. That since this chapter existed, you have seen centers organizing with and without resources. And because of our geographical diversity, as a leadership we came together and we said it is very hard to connect these centers just coming from the 10 counties as one. So we ended up formulating a structure on county cells. And from the introduction we've been hearing on the Kisumu cell, Convening, Kakamega cell, this was to help centers in the different counties to help in organizing and meeting and getting to see what are the existing opportunities from different centers. To mention, in terms of visibility and also basing on the general engagements, as a chapter for the last 1 year, we have been visible. I don't want to say if this was because of Hakim Tani, because it has also enabled us that centers, previously centers did not have even social media platforms. But currently all the 44 centers are having either Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and they're able to showcase what they're doing within their community. And it is easy to search and identify that actually these centers are existing in the various communities. One thing that we have leveraged with Hakim Tani project is the idea of shared resources. And we are saying this because we having 44 centers and 21 with allocated resources, it was very difficult. So we created a formula on how can centers which are not within the project can benefit from this limited resources that we are given. And that has been able to strengthen our organizing, that center know what I'm getting today, another center will get tomorrow, and we need to organize together and giving us more strength. Just to let you know, we held our, on that again, we have had increased partnership and collaboration with both the government and non-governmental stakeholders, that because of organizing, we have centers who are working with the local administration, the ward administrators, the police, and other key actors who are pushing the agenda of social justice. And this is initiated by centers in the various communities, not the larger working group partnering with different stakeholders. There has been an idea of unity of purpose and good support from the centers within the constituency. And you understand that as a working group, when you don't have support from the centers, if you go, you have to sweat and sweat more. But for the Western chapter, there is that synergy, collaboration, and understanding. Of course, misunderstanding cannot miss, but in terms of percentage, it could be 30-70, which is a good way to go. We conducted our elections. The election committee, the steering committee elections, which was successful, and part of the progress is to ensure how do we have committees also conducting the election, something that we are working towards, and actually it will come from the areas of improvement in my next session. Another report is, because of our work within the community, we have had comrades being appointed in various committees at government level. We have centers whose members are sitting at the court users committee, the project management committees at the county levels, and at the ward levels. We have comrades who are within the community policing units. And this for us, it is a success. We cannot take it for granted. Some of the centers within the county cells are taking part to lead the planning of different international days. Vihiga centers are engaged in leading the Vihiga International Women's Day. Across all the county cells, they took lead in planning of 16 days of activism in their respective counties. What is the name of the name? Something else, we've had successful launch of new centers, and we've invited comrades who have had support from Nairobi. I think it's because of the distance, but we're hoping next time when we're launching centers, we'll also be able to get you in so that you also get to know our process of launching a center. And we also recognize your support and celebrate it because we've seen you coming and witnessing the launch of our new centers. As a center in terms of, as a chapter in terms of resource mobilization, internal resource mobilization, the chapter has managed to save a total of 330,000 Kenyan shillings. And for us, it is a progress. Pesa ni kidogo lakini tunauliza, we need to save so that in case, and with a plan of investment. Our areas of improvement, as a chapter, we've not conducted performance review of the chapter. And that is something we need to focus on so that we ask, since our existence, we've not sat down and analyzed how have we performed in terms of strengthening the movement. We focus on the communities, failing to give attention to our specific centers and communities within the space. In terms of documentation of our work, we are doing a lot of things when we go to social media, when we go to every platforms. We are still working towards improving our ability to document our stories and write our own stories as a chapter, so that we ensure that this work is accessible not just to the communities, but even to the global platforms who may want to engage us. Another area of improvement, we have not paid attention to the political and economic education for our comrades. And we were having a conversation and asking, we need to invest in political education, but also remember economic well-being of our comrades is key to our organizing. We intend to proceed with the elections of committees because it is very critical. The process on constitutional review, it is an area that we need to pay attention towards so that we ensure that the constitution that we have as a chapter speaks to the realities and the need of the chapter, knowing that we are covering the largest constituency, but also we need also to invest in each and every centers. We are still struggling on effective and meaningful nationalization of our committees. And I'm saying this, I'll give an example. The Western chapter has the GBV committee, Article 43 committee, the media and communications, which are doing well. All the cameras in this room are from the Western chapter. We love it. But we have not had a leadership of our committees. So I think as a movement, we have not. If we say that this movement is national movement, we need to ask the leadership of committees, where is it coming from? If it is only coming from Nairobi, is the movement national? If it is only coming from Coast, is the movement national? if today we have all committees leadership that are coming from Western, do we say that a national movement? So that is the question this convention need to start asking and give a roadmap on how to answer that question. We as a chapter, Coastal wamesema wako kwa national committee. Sisi tumesema we need more slots in the national steering committee, so that we either get more space or take over. Because we cannot have a chapter with 44 centers, close to 12 are on assessment, waiting to be admitted. We only have 2 representatives. Where did the politics of numbers go? And we don't want to say that we want to mushroom. It is the realities that we are covering 10 counties. So, and we don't want to say that because if we are having 2, Comrade Kodem is coming from the Nyanza region, is representing 5 counties. We will ask Olad, Nairobi ni counties ngapi? Na tuwape wala siyote. Huku pamoja na kuna founder zero. So this is the conversation we are having, and I'm hoping that this space is going to shape on where we want to go. So that today we don't pay attention to cause because they don't have representation. Tomorrow we are going to tell Western as a chapter, go and split. Mukwe na Western counties as Western chapter, Mukwe na Nyanza counties as Nyanza chapter, and we ask for more slots. That can also be a formula. Viva Congress, viva!
Viva!
Na Nairobi nao wasema sisi ndio tulikuwa hapa tunataka 5 slots. We create a crisis that again we need to come back and solve it because this movement is ours. So when there is a crisis, we need to meet and address it. So if today the coast is having a crisis, they meet and they help themselves to address. But it should be for the bigger goal of this movement. Sorry, I was reading the report. So on the effective nationalization, this was our comments, and I'm hoping it will be addressed in tomorrow's meeting. We need to know, identify strengths of different chapters, and say, in the spirit of movement building, that if the movement has 10 committees, in terms of leadership, it has to be shared equally across all the chapters. Kajiado mjaongea. Na pia kuna Baringo na Turkana. Yesu ni mkubwa. Our area of improvement, we had a vision of leveraging on fast tracking on the flagship project as envisioned within the strategic plan. And our idea as a chapter was to curate model centers in each and every county that we exist. This is a conversation we started in 2023, and then the fracas happened and it shifted our attention, but we hope that in 2024 we are going to be very intentional so that we are able to set up model centers in each and every county that we exist. A center that will create a platform for the community to understand community organizing, social justice, issues of economic and social well-being of our people. Mental health, mental health, because their movement. mentioned that they pay attention for mental health of comrades. We organize what on cases, death, post-mortem. We have not paid attention to the mental well-being of our comrades. And as a chapter, I'll give a scenario. Last year, Comrade Faith alihandle kesi akapotea, tukadhani ametoka steering committee. Kumbe, she was having mental breakdown. That we say when people are disappearing, tunasema wamechoka kuorganize. Kumbe they're going through issues. And I think as a movement, we need to invest in the mental well-being of our comrades so that we can deliver to the communities. In terms of economic well-being, hata donors wanasema get comrades hawana pesa. That's why nakuallocatea transport reimbursement ya 200 Kenyan shillings. And I think that is something we need to kill. So that a comrade is treated fairly like any other worker of this great country. And as a chapter, what we have said, any partner who is coming to engage us, they treat us the same way they are engaging with their staffs or their institutions. So that a comrade, so that engagement ya comrade, nasema wape 500 watatosheka. But kama ni staff, unapeana 5,000. Are we less a human beings? Yes. We are not, right? And as a movement, we need to share so that anytime we're having a conversation with a partner, we tell them, and I'm happy at Africa and last week at Kila Institute, we told them that give comrades PSA, they listen. And this is going to be the trend. This is going to be the trend. So if you are leading any committee and you are negotiating for resources for the movement, if that partner is giving PSA to their institutions, it should be the same to the movement.
More power. More power.
If our transport rate is 5,000 from here to where, I don't know, it should be the same. So that we don't treat, because actually we are the largest stakeholders in this work, right?
Sure.
So we should have the biggest case when it comes to negotiation. So this is our declaration that anyone, because committees will be tasked to fundraise, the steering committee will be tasked to fundraise. Usifike kwa budget unasema pea 500 na unakaa unakimbia. We'll take your money. Tutembea bure. Ni hayo kwa sasa, tafadhali nipigie makofi.
Executive Director, Haki Africa. I have participated in today's deliberations, and I was impressed by the level of contribution by the participants, and more particularly the status, the participants who are giving the status of the various civil, social justice centers in these various chapters. I also took note of the challenges they are facing in terms of the conflicts within the movement, but I was impressed by the quest to solve these problems. I think it was a good session today because members came out honestly with the intention to address the challenges before them. And I think it's a good way forward. So I'm expecting tomorrow that they will discuss solutions to the problems they have discussed today. And with the effort I have seen, I hope they will be able to solve the problems that they have revealed that exist within the movement. So I think it was a good meeting. A role to explain to the members about the Hakim Tani project design. They have to understand how it was designed. Once they understand how it was designed, it will help solve some of these problems. So the individual social justice centers, the chapters, need to know how this project is designed. So I think way forward, if the leadership, the steering committee or the working group explains to the various members about the design of the project, it will help tremendously solve the problems facing them. Number two, the report, the mediation report, if they also discuss that, the proposals of the mediation team, if they discuss that, I think that will help also solve the problems they are facing. Most important is the primary objective of the project, to build the capacity of the social justice working group, as well as the chapters in dealing with the kind of challenges they are facing. So if they follow that route, I hope